Hi, okay. Welcome everybody to the last general membership meeting of 2025 for UFCW Local 770. I'm Kathy Finn, the president of Local 770. I hope the Zoom is working for the folks who are at home. And for the folks in Camarillo, hi to everybody in Camarillo. Hopefully you enjoyed your holiday party there as much as we enjoyed the one here. I don't think, can they see the room here?
No.
Oh, okay, we got a room full of people, so everybody say happy holidays. All right, we have a whole lot of people here. And for those of you in Camarillo, you guys can yell happy holidays too. But we're gonna get started with the meeting. The meeting's gonna be very short, and then we will have, we'll continue with the music and games, and there's still more food and food boxes and stuff for people to pick up. So we do, for those who are joining on the Zoom, we do have translation available. If you, at the bottom of your screen, there's a globe. Abajo de la pantalla hay un globito, and you push there and press Spanish if you want Spanish translation. Si quiere interpretación en español. Okay. Also, if you have questions, if you're on the Zoom and you have questions, you can put them in the chat and we will get back to those with questions. We'll follow up, not here at this meeting, but we'll follow up with everyone that has questions. And this meeting is going to be fairly short just because we have a lot of stuff happening here at the office. So this meeting is going to be a little shorter than usual, and I'm going to do all the reports. So I am going to start with a review of 2025. And we have there we go. We have a video presentation, and hopefully everyone who's watching on Zoom can see it. So we had some goals at the beginning of 2025. One of them, which hopefully folks have become acquainted with, was to restructure the way that we operate in the field in our retail division, which is where the vast majority of our union representatives are. In the past, each union representative had a district, and that person was responsible for everything that happened in that district, for organizing, identifying leaders, getting members engaged, but also all the contract enforcement and grievances. And so it was a lot, right? It was a lot for one person to focus on. So we split every district up. So now there's somebody who's responsible for contract enforcement, and there's another person who's responsible for identifying leaders and building leaders. So that was one goal, and the reason for doing that is to have more member engagement and to develop more leaders, and also to have better contract enforcement. So in a minute, I'm going to talk about how we did on that goal. And then we had another goal. We had a lot of contract campaigns this year, which I'm going to get to about how we did actually in 2025. So I talked a bit about the restructure already, and I think that it was fairly successful. I know there's a lot of, this was the very first year we did it. It's something different. No other UFCW local that I know of has ever done anything like this. So I know there's some bumps along the way, but I'm going to talk about how 2025 went in context of that restructure, and how 2025, we had a lot of wins and a lot of success. And I think some of it is based on that restructure that we did. So one of the things we wanted to focus and leadership development for our members. So we had a lot of steward conferences. I think there's some pictures of folks at steward conferences. How many people here went to some kind of steward conference this year? Some kind of training or meeting in person with the union to learn about your contract or whatever? So about half the room. And I think there's a lot of people in the room that aren't members. There's a lot of kids too, but maybe almost half the members here went to some kind of training. So we did a lot of conferences and trainings. And then our campaigns, the first one I'm going to talk about was the biggest one that impacted most of the members, which is the grocery campaign. More than half of our members are in the grocery division. So we had that was a big focus of the year. One goal, as I said, was increasing member engagement. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. So we have been working at increasing member engagement for a while, right? It wasn't just this year that became an important thing. We've been doing that for many years. So back in 2022, when we had a successful contract campaign, in that campaign, we had more member engagement than we had ever had in the past. And so now I'm just going to compare 2025 to 2022 so people get kind of a sense of how much better we did in 2025, even than in 2022. So in 2022, we did petitions. How many people signed a petition for your contract campaign? So in 2022, 44% of our members signed a petition. And in 2025, 62% of our members signed a petition. So it was almost a 50% increase. We also, one of the other actions that we do to build power and increase engagement of members is delegations. How many people participated in a delegation where you go and talk to your boss about what you want in your contract campaign, right? People do that? Yeah, some people. Okay, so in 2022, we did 31 delegations during the grocery contract campaign. And in 2025, we had a total of 105 separate delegations at different stores where members went and talked to their boss and delivered petitions to ensure that they got a stronger contract. And then we did a new thing in 2025 that we had never done before. We had customer solidarity actions where folks stood in front of their store to talk to customers. And part of that reason for that was to ask customers about how staffing issues were impacting them, because we wanted to get new staffing language in the contract. And we wanted to hear from customers because often the employers don't really care as much about the workers, but if the customers are complaining, they may listen. And so we had never done this before, but we were able to, in 2025, have 74 separate actions in front of stores where members stood in front of their store and got surveys from customers. How many people here did that one? All right, we got a lot of people who did that. So 379 members participated in one of those 74 actions, and we got over 2,700 customer surveys, which we then tallied together and shared with the companies about how customers were very unhappy with the long lines, the self-checkout, and all that kind of stuff. We had another goal of being strike ready if we needed to go out on strike, right? And we were ready to go out on strike by the end of June and ended up settling the contract in the first week of July. We were successful in winning some new staffing language. So in 3 areas, we got some staffing requirements of the company to call folks in when people call out sick, to create a kind of online way that people can claim shifts, which that they are still in the process of doing. They're a bit late. They were supposed to do it within 4 months. They're taking a little bit more time. So we got to focus on that enforcement as well. We got some limits on self-check. And we also got improved language to police courtesy clerks working in a higher classification. So those were all successes. And then the other thing that I really want to talk about is contract enforcement. So as I said at the beginning, we have a new team that focuses solely on contract enforcement. And that's going to be something that we focused on at the end of 2025, and we're going to continue to focus on in 2026. And we started with the policing of the courtesy clerks working in a higher classification. Who has that problem in their store? Those of you who are from the grocery industry, who has a problem of courtesy clerks working too much in higher classification? Okay, so far this year, we've filed, and this is just in the second half of the year, right, when we started this enforcement campaign, we filed 59 grievances over that issue. And our ability to do that was because we were able to get some stronger language in the contract. So we first got the stronger language, then we moved to the enforcement piece. 30 of those 59 grievances have been resolved. So there's still 29 pending, 30 resolved. The 30 resolved grievances resulted in $45,806 in back pay to members for the violations that we found, as well as 15 promotions. So a lot of times they end up promoting those courtesy clerks that are being overly used. So 15 folks got promoted, and 5 stores have been trained and are enforcing this on their own. So Part of it is training, and this is going to spread. So if you are in a store that has this problem and you guys are not enforcing it on your own, be sure to reach out to your contract enforcement rep to get the training you need to be enforcing that and getting these back pay and promotion things. So this will continue to be a focus enforcement in 2026, as well as enforcing the new staffing and self-check language, which are still sort of in process. We also this year did some enforcement campaigns in our drugstores. We did an enforcement campaign around hours and scheduling and ensuring people were getting the number of hours that they needed to get in their contracts. And then we also had, I think the next slide is the El Super campaign, which is still ongoing. In that campaign, which is obviously still in progress, we have not gotten the contract that the members want as of yet, but we've had great member engagement. I think you can see from the pictures, we've had a number of rallies and delegations. We just did one, maybe it was just last week. And so we've had a lot of member engagement. We have a very large bargaining committee participating in that. Another goal for 2025 was to resolve our Kaiser contract. That one expired in October, and I think there's probably some pictures there about the Kaiser campaign, which is also still in progress or still in process. It's not done yet. It expired on October 1st, and we're still working on that. There'll be more negotiations on that one next week. There's also going to be more El Super negotiations next week. And again, in Kaiser, we've been having great member engagement, more member engagement than we've ever had in a Kaiser campaign before. There have been a number of rallies and delegations. Doing delegations to the boss was a new thing in Kaiser we had not done before. So we got together and did a bunch of delegations, one of which went viral. I think got hundreds of thousands of views on Instagram. And when other Kaiser members saw what we were doing, a lot of them then asked, hey, we want to do that. We want to do a delegation. So it ended up resulting in a bunch more delegations at Kaiser, which is something that had never happened there before. We're also working on, and this one I don't think there are pictures of, but they just did a delegation about a week ago too, the Overhill contract. Overhill is one of our food processing plants in Vernon. And they just last week, right, Perla, did a big delegation about how many people participated. They had about 30 people participate in a delegation at Overhill just last Wednesday, so we don't have the pictures of that one yet. And then we also did this year Prop 50. Everybody here know what Prop 50 was? Okay. So Prop 50, just as a reminder to folks, sometime earlier in the year, a bunch of Texas politicians got together and changed the districts in Texas without the consent of the voters, right? They went ahead and did it without asking the voters what they wanted in order to tilt the playing field in favor of their party, right? And so California voters took the opportunity to bring a question to the voters, not the politicians doing it, but to ask the voters, hey, do you, the voters, want to change the way our districts are drawn to level that playing field? And at first it really looked like it was a long shot, but after a lot of folks volunteered and spent a lot of time talking to voters, how many people volunteered and talked to voters on Prop 50? So we got more people in the room who did that. It ended up passing overwhelmingly that the voters of California decided to redraw our districts to ensure a more fair election in 2026. And then finally, not everything in 2025 was good. We have a few sad things, but the president of Local 324, who is one of my best friends, passed away at the end of the year. And that's very sad. And I just wanted to acknowledge her and recognize her. She's somebody who for 40 years spent her life fighting for UFCW workers throughout Southern California. She actually used to work at 770 a long time ago and then went to Local 324. And I just wanted to acknowledge her. Another not so good thing I did also want to report about was in 2025, we had all of our Rite Aid stores, Rite Aid declared bankruptcy and all of our Rite Aid stores closed. So we may have some folks who are former Rite Aid members who hopefully found other union jobs and are still members. We supported our Rite Aid members in trying to get other jobs and also negotiated a severance package for them. So that was also not super good news, but I also just wanted to acknowledge that. So next year will be 2026, and it's a whole new year for new opportunities and new goals. So we have some things I'm going to talk about. What we're looking at coming forward in 2026 is, first of all, our grocery pharmacist campaign. So in the grocery stores, many grocery stores have pharmacies inside. How many people have a pharmacy inside your grocery store if you're a grocery member? So those folks, their contract is expiring March 1st. And we have already started surveying them and starting that campaign, building some leaders to ensure that they also get a good contract. We're going to continue, as I mentioned, more focus on enforcement with our enforcement team of ensuring that all of our contracts, not just grocery, but grocery, drug, packing house, cannabis, Kaiser, all of our divisions, that we have a bigger focus on enforcement. We also have a lot of elections coming up in 2026. We have California statewide races. Danny and I just today interviewed all the gubernatorial candidates with all the rest of the Southern California UFCW locals. I don't think we settled on anybody that we felt comfortable endorsing as of yet, so we're going to hold off on that. But there are also congressional midterms, so all of our representatives to Congress also are up for election this year, so there's going to be a lot going on in politics. And then we are also having a big focus on external organizing. Many of those campaigns are still somewhat underground, so I'm not going to talk about them specifically, but what I can say is we've had more meetings with our international union and other locals throughout Region 8, and there is growing cooperation between Local 770 and the other locals and the international to work together on organizing campaigns so that we can grow the union. So that's a 2025 year in review real quick, and the looking forward to 2026. That is my report. And now we're going to get to the business of the meeting, and this part should be pretty quick. So first, we have to approve the minutes of the last meeting, which was the meeting of September. We always put the recordings, we always do these meetings via Zoom. The recording is on the website for everyone to see and hear or whatever, watch. So we could either watch the entire video now, or has been the practice, we can waive the reading or listening to the minutes for the September 9th meeting and just make a motion to adopt, to approve those minutes. Okay, it's been moved and seconded to go ahead and approve those minutes, which are available for everybody to watch. Anyway, is there any comments or questions on that motion? All those in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. That's okay. That's okay. That's why you have the naughty head. Okay. Okay. Well, the ayes have it anyway. Okay. Okay. And now I am going to turn it over to Danny Garcia, our Secretary Treasurer, for the trustee report, the investment report, and the membership count report.
Thank you, Kathy. That's Cecilia. All right. First of all, I do want to say happy holidays.
You're taller than me, so we got,
Sorry.
is that good?
Happy holidays to all of our members, our staff. And 2025 was a lot of work, and 26 is going to be just as important, if not more. And I do want to thank President Kathy Finn for leading the charge. She does not sleep, I will tell you, because she texts 5 o'clock in the morning and 11 p.m. So I don't know when she's sleeping, but I do want to give a big round of applause to our president. And our staff, but most importantly, you, our members, because of you is why we are here today. So thank you. So for our trustees report, January 1st. Yeah, thank you all. January 1st through October 31st, 2025. Beginning balance as of January 1st, 2025, 17,238,398. revenue and expense operations. We have our subtotal expenses at 20,689,092. We are expecting a reimbursement due from our trust fund of 266,700. We have an income of 472,749 for an ending balance as of 10/31/2025 of 17,711,146. Our cash activities, cash balance as of 1/1/2025, 948,093. We have net cash in of 57,742 for a cash balance as of 10/31/2025 of 1,005,835. Our balance sheet assets, we have liabilities of 3,486,270 for a fund balance as of October 31st, 2025 of 17,711,146. Sorry, 17,711,146. There a motion to approve? Another second. Any discussion? And their eyes, what's it?
Yeah.
The eyes, do we have eyes?
All those in favor?
Oh, all those in favor. I knew there was something wrong there.
Sorry.
All those in favor? Opposed? I'm looking at you. Thank you, thank you. All right, motion passes. Investment evaluations and transactions for November 1st through November 30th, 2025. Fair market value as of 11/30/2025 for a total of 11,091,990. Investment and dividend income for a total of 16,748. Sales and principal paid down, realized gain of 20,741 for a total of 435,307. Purchases total 255,910. There are motion to approve. Second?
Yeah, any discussion?
Any discussion? All those in favor? Any nays? Thank you. All right, and monthly membership report. This is for the month of November. In our food division, 18,730. That's a gain of 81 members. In our drug division, 3,807 for a gain of 24 members. Our professional division, 1,429, a gain of 1 member. Our barber division, 5 members, broke even. Our beauty division, 8 members, broke even. Our meat cutters, 1,610. That's a loss of 4 members. Meat packers, 446 for a gain of 1 member. Our cannabis division, 492. That's a gain of 6 members for a total of 26,527. Overall, a gain of 109 members. Yes. And currently, there are 991 members on withdrawal due to LOA. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Okay, so we're finishing up here. So if people do have questions, there's a QR code around the room, or you can put them in the chat. We'll keep the Zoom open for a little bit for people to enter their questions. We will get back to everyone that has questions. We're just not going to do it here because we got a lot going on here at the holiday festivities here. So I have a few announcements. Make sure to follow us on social media if you haven't done that. Read your newsletters. They come every Friday. Everyone should be getting it. Does everybody get a newsletter every Friday? Every other Friday, sorry. Every other Friday. No wonder I've been missing it every once in a while. It's like, where's my newsletter, man? Yeah, so now it's every other Friday. I think it used to be every Friday. Okay, but that's, how you can be updated on all the union activities and events that are going on. The next general membership meeting will be Tuesday, March 10th, 2026. And so hopefully we'll have it again like this on Zoom and in person. We got a lot of people out today for the holiday party, but we hope to see folks come back and be involved at every membership meeting, find out everything that's going on. And then happy holidays to everyone. And I hope the folks who are here and in Camarillo stay for a little while. We still got food boxes, gifts for the kids, games. And we have some raffles, but we're not going to do the raffles on Zoom. We're going to turn off oh no, we said we'd leave the Zoom on for a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we're gonna stop, I guess, the Zoom part, and then we're gonna do some raffles for the folks that are here. Okay, so I know we have. Bye, everyone on Zoom. Bye, happy holidays. Bye. Here, should we turn this around? They can see everybody.